So welcome back to Khan Cloud Academy, and let's start learning with AG305. So today's topic is design a solution to log and monitoring Azure services. So so designing means you must know and aware about the services, right? And accordingly, you have to a little bit knowledge on what they do and what for which services you're going to use it. So this is always all about. Okay, so what we're going to cover here, Azure Architect design and recommend logging and monitoring solutions. So design for Azure monitoring, monitor data sources, a design for Azure monitor logs, log analytics workspaces, a design for Azure workbook and Azure Insight, design for Azure Data Explorer. How you're going to explore your data? I mean, you do for anything like R&D kind of things, or you need to check the logs. So this is always all about, right? So here you can see the monitoring. Monitoring, we have a lot of, we can create a matrix, alerts, logs. So there is a monitoring kind of things. So you go to the services and you can see here, you go to the monitor, right? And in this monitor, you can see the log analytics agents used by VM won't be supported for blah blah. This is the plan. Migrate to VM inside an Azure monitor agent prior to this date. So time to time, Microsoft will give you what is the update is going on. Maybe if they're changing some services from here to there, right? So this is the monitor overview, right? Same way you can just go with this kind of tools and technology to check for which particular services you can monitor those things, right? Next is activity logs. Activity logs, you can check if any activity or anything you are created, it will generate automatically from here. Alert if you are set up an alert, your matrix, your logs, and change. So this is basically a service, right? I'm showing you the service, but how you going to plan that? This course is for all about, right? So monitoring part. Wait a minute. Okay, so first thing is we have to talk about design for Azure monitoring data source, right? So what is Azure Monitor? So Azure Monitor is based on a common monitoring data platform that enables you to view, analyze, and work with data gathered from your resources. The platform offers many features that supports two primary component logs and metrics, right? So Azure Monitor Logs lets you collect and organize data from resources that you're going to monitor it. Or you going to configure what data is gathered and how it's organized in the platform. Other feature in Azure Monitor automatically store their data in logs. You can use the stored data with your collected data to help monitor the performance of your environment. So Azure monitoring having, I just showed you analyze, insight, and integrate, respond, and visualize. So Azure Monitor Matrix capture numerical data from your monitored resources and store the result in a time organized database. That is called, you can say, the matrix are collected at intervals you specify. You can use matrix to check how your system is performing at a particular time of under certain circumstances. So this is all about the Azure Monitor, right? You can see data sources came from your application, your operating system, any resources, Azure subscription, Azure tenant, custom resources you can make. So matrix and logs. These two things we have to work on. So inside you can see like go inside and check each and everything. Analysis, will give you analytics kind of things, integration, logic apps, export API, alerts, auto scale, these kind of things. Okay. So what do you have to know about Azure Azure monitoring? So as you develop your monitoring plan, consider this characteristic for your Azure Monitor. Number one, data from multiple resources can be collected into Azure Monitor, analyzed together by using a common set of tools, like logs enables complex analysis by using log queries. Matrix support near real-time scenarios like priority alerts and responding to critical issues. So monitoring data can be also sent to other location to support certain scenarios such as tracking and reporting. Source of monitoring data from Azure application can be organized into tiers, and each tiers can be accessed in different ways. The highest tiers are for your application itself. The lower tiers are component of the Azure platform. Application data, operating system data, Azure resource data, Azure subscription data, and Azure tenant data. So diagnostic extension monitor logs dependency. So this is how you're going to monitor your matrix for Windows for any services if you talk about, right? So this is a design for Azure monitoring logs, log analysis workspace. So this is another topic we have to we're going to talk about, right? So wait a minute. Let me go back here on the monitoring services, right? This is what I will showing you on the screen. Sorry. So design for Azure monitoring logs analytics workspace. So Azure Monitor stores log data in an Azure Monitor logs analysis workspace. A workspace is an Azure resources that serve as an administrative boundary or geographic location of your data storage. The workspace is also a container where you collect and aggregate the data. While you deploy one or more workspaces in your Azure subscription, there are several considerations you should understand to ensure your initial deployment follow Microsoft guidelines. So the workspace should provide a cost-effective, manageable, and scalable deployment that meets your organization needs, right? So things to know about Azure Monitor Logs is uh, yeah, Azure Monitoring Logs spaces, right? So things to know about Azure Monitor Logs workspaces. In our workspace, you can isolate data from granting different user access right following Microsoft recommended design strategies. So data in an Azure monitoring log workspace is organized into tables. Each table stores different kind of data and has its own unique set of properties based on the resources that's generating the data. Most sources write to their own tables in an Azure monitor log workspace. A workspace enables you to configure setting like pricing tier, retention, and data capping based on administrative boundaries or geographical location. So RBAC also you can implement over there. You can grant a user and group only to amount of access they need to be work with the monitor data in workspace. Suppose you have a monitoring team for the cloud monitoring team. You can give this kind of extra and data and reporting for the further reporting purpose as well. So generally, your user access control with your IT organization operating model by using a single workspace to store collecting data enables on all resources. Workspaces are hosted on physical clusters. By default, the system creates and manages these clusters. If your system ingested more than 500 GB of data per day, you create your own dedicated cluster for your workspace to support greater control and higher ingestion rate, right? So this is what we can do with the Azure monitoring log workspace, right? So there's a lot of type you can say monitoring logs have. Like consider your access control strategy as you plan for how many workspace to use in the organization. Consider those potential requirement. So in your organization, if suppose you are a globally exist, I mean you working in MNC or you are an administrator of that. So do you need a log data stored in a specific reason for data, sovereignty or compliance reasons? Does your architecture use Azure? Do you want to avoid outbound data transfer changes by having a workspace in the same region as the Azure resources it's managed? So does the system supports multiple department or business group? Each group should access their data and not the data of others. Also, there is no business requirement for consolidated across a department or business group views. Consider deployment model option. Most IT organizations used a centralized, decentralized, or hybrid model for their architecture. So this is what we have to consider these common workspaces deployment models. Three things: centralized, decentralized, and hybrid model, and how they might work for the your organization. So centralize, what do you understand from the centralize? Our logs are stored in a central workspace and administered by a single team. Azure Monitor provides differentiate access per team. In this scenario, it's easy to manage, search across resources and across correct correlate the logs. So the workspace can grow significantly depending on amount of data collected from multiple resources in your subscription. So extra administration overhead is needed to maintain access control to different users. So this model is known as hub and spoke. This model is known as hub, spoke, and spoke. Okay. So decentralize. So decentralize. Each team there has their own workspace created in a resource group. They own and manage. Log data is segregated per resources. So depend upon your you just distribute it. I'm not going to manage the centrally, but yeah, if you are responsible for your particular development or environment, you just take your decentralized way, right? So this is how it's going to work. Hybrid approach can be complicated by security audit compliance requirement. Many organizations implement both deployment models in parallel. The hybrid design commonly results in a complex, expensive also, and hard to maintain configuration with the gaps of log coverage. Okay. So consider access mode. What is this? Plan for how your user can access your Azure Monitor logs, workspaces, and define the scope of data they can access. So this is what you have to think as our organization level. User have two options for accessing their data. So workspace content, a user can review all logs in the workspaces for which they have permission. Okay. Queries and scope to all data in all the table in all tables in the workspace. Logs are accessed with the workspace as the scope by selecting logs from the Azure Monitor menu in Azure portal. Okay, so this is what is talking about. All the logs are here. Okay. Storage, network, store, whatever you have, you can just click it. You can see about this and check about this. Okay. So this is how you're going to create your no scope selected because I don't have any. You can run the query from here, right? So this is how you can run and it will work. I don't have any resources right now I created, so that's why it's not showing anything. Okay, so consider scale and ingestion volume rate limit. That's what I also you can fix. All right. So recommendation is as you consider your option for implementing Azure Monitor logs workspace and access control in your monitoring and logging solution, review these recommendation. Okay. Okay. So what is the next topic? Uh, yeah, central listener. I will talk about it. So design for Azure workbooks on Azure Insight, right? So Azure Workbook is a feature of Azure Monitor. Workbooks provides a flexible canvas for data analysis and the creation of rich visual reports within the Azure portal. So I mean, as an admin, the Azure admin, you can or your administrative part. So you, as architect, you have to think about it. How you going to design those things? Okay. And customer use workbook to explore the uses of an app as an app to do root cause analysis, put together on operational playbook, and many other tasks. So Azure Workbooks lets you tap into multiple data sources from Access Azure and combine them into unified interactive experiences. Author of workbooks can transform ingestion data to provide insight into the availability, performance, uses, and overall health of the underlying components. You can analyze performance logs from virtual machines to identify high CPU or low memory instances and display the result as a grid in an interactive report. So workbook are what are you going to do with the workbooks are currently compatible with the following data sources: logs, matrix, Azure resources graph, alerts, workload health, Azure Resource Health and Azure Data Explorer. So these are the basically services I'm talking about, right? So also you have to think about Azure Insight. Azure Insight provides a customized monitoring experience for particular application and services, right? So yeah, Azure Insight, yeah. So the reputation of your organization depends on the performance, reliability, and security of its systems, right? Things about Azure Insight, characteristic about it. Azure Insight provide a customized monitoring experience for particular application and services. Azure Insight collect and analyze both logs and metrics. So Azure Insight used by majorly of the Azure clients, you can say, the who is on this Azure, or they already moved on the cloud side, Azure cloud side especially. So many insight are provided as feature of Azure Monitor, right? So what we have to consider when we consider Azure Workbooks, consider Azure Insight and data analysis, consider combined data sources and visual reporting. Okay, so these are the features of all this about services. Okay. Next topic is Azure design for Azure Data Explorer. So Data Explorer is a platform for big data that helps you analyze a high volume of data in a near real time. So Azure Data Explorer comes equipped with feature to help you configure end-to-end solution for ingesting and managing your data, running queries, generating visualization, so everything it will give you. So consider these characteristics for Azure Data Explorer that help enhance the monitoring solution of organization. Azure Data Explorer is a fast and highly scalable data explorer services for log and telemetry data. Azure Data Explorer helps you handle multiple data stream. So you can collect, store, analyze your data from all resources, analyze large volumes of diverse data from any data source, such as website, application, IoT device, and more. Use okay, so Azure Data Explorer for diagnostic, monitoring, reporting, machine learning, and other analytics tasks as well. We have to use. Okay, so when you have to use Azure Data Explorer, right? So this diagram shows a hybrid end-to-end monitoring solution that integrated with Azure Sentinel and Azure Monitor. So this configuration ingests stream and batch logs from multiple sources. You can see here security, system, network logs, application logs, server DB, user activity, everything. So this is came like Microsoft Sentinels and Azure monitoring logs, application site manager, streaming and batch dataset logs take, event hub, Apache and if you want to. So a lot of things over here you can see. Logical apps, workbooks, Power BI. So how you going to monitor and implement like this only? Okay, so this is how to, but I will talk about when I complete this theory part, and we'll go the real time designing. Okay, so I will teach you step by step how you're going to design the architect solution using the Visio, because Visio is the best tool for Microsoft. And I will also tell you what you have to consider, how you create your document also. Okay, so it's going to be very interactive. All right, so I think I'm done with this today's topic. Okay, and you need to go here and little bit you have to check all the services. I'm not saying that you're going to design everything, but yes, you search all the services and little bit learn about it, what it's do or what it's not do. Azure Monitor workspaces, what is this, right? How you create a workspace, create Azure Monitor workspace, right? Subscription you have to choose. You have to choose resource group, name and reason. Review it and do it. Networking also. Enable public access from all the network or disable public access. So this is how you can give this. Accessing services and creating services is very easy. Tagging, tagging is basically used for in the planning. I was showing you how you're going to manage your financial part, which department, who is the suppose you are deploying this particular services, and who is the label in your responsible for in your organization. So this is why the tagging is required. Finance team, IT team, development team, these kind of teams we have to talk about it. Okay, so next So Microsoft Sentinel and Azure Monitor SaaS solution don't offer out of the box support for certain scenario like application trace log. Azure Data Explorer provides greater flexibility for building quick and easy near real-time analysis. Remember this. Azure Data Explorer is well integrated with ML services such as Databricks, Azure Machine Learning. You can build models for your organization by using other tools and services and export ML models to Azure Data Explorer for scoring data. So Azure Data Explorer supports long data retention in a cost-effective manner. Azure Data Explorer also has a unified big data analytics platform. So remember these points as well. Okay. So thanks for time, guys. Have a nice day. We'll see you in our next video.